Going to get you to your comment now story. Lawmakers in Central Florida, they've filed a bill that would require middle school students to have weekly free play recess. The proposal mandates students in grades 6 through 8 receive at least 100 minutes of supervised safe recess each week, including a minimum of 20 minutes per day. If approved, this bill, the measure would take place on July 1st is when it would go into effect. This is very interesting to me, Stacey.
Just in time for the next school year. And joining us now live to talk about this is Adrianne Wilson. She is an associate professor of education at the University of Tampa and also chair of that department. Thank you so much for joining us this morning. What are your initial thoughts on this?
Good morning, and thank you so much for having me. My initial thoughts on this potential new bill, it's bittersweet. It definitely comes with some added benefits to support student development and wellness, but it also does present some challenges in terms of implementation and logistics.
And Adrianne, we do have a lot of folks commenting on this when it comes to social media. Linda Anderson says no phones allowed. She's questioning this. They actually have to speak to each other. In your opinion, is it more beneficial for students if there is no phone allowed during these times and they are interacting with students one-on-one? Does that give their brain more of a break?
Absolutely. There's a lot of strong research that supports the importance of recess to support the social and emotional well-being for students, breaks from screen time. We know all the benefits that are associated with limiting screen time. And so recess with no screens, giving students an opportunity to mentally reset as well as socially and interact with one another and all the benefits that come with that is definitely an added benefit.
You know, as a mom, I am in favor of anytime you could take the phones away and have them just be kids. This is aimed at middle school specifically. Why do you think that is?
Well, I think middle school specifically because it does support what the American Academy of Pediatrics and the CDC highlights as there being evidence for development at the middle school level. It's a pressure cooker. There's a lot happening to our students during that time developmentally. They are transitioning biologically, just in terms of growing into who they are as an adult. They're also growing and learning and transitioning socially. And so, this is also an extension of the support of well-being that's already in place for students in elementary grades K through 5.
Adrianne, we've touched a lot on the benefits that this could bring, and just real quickly, touch on some of the challenge that you mentioned that might come with implementing this.
Right. As I said, I could see this as being bittersweet. There's a lot of research to support the importance of resource and play and being able to mentally and emotionally decompress. But from a logistical standpoint, there could possibly be some challenges for school districts. Teachers are already pressed and stretched with a very full school day. And so, I just kind of think about logistically what would implementation look like. This bill does call for supervised, unstructured recess. So, initial thoughts that come to mind is what would that supervision look like? How does this pull away from the instructional time that is so very important? And then, what kind of additional pressures might this put on teachers and or instructional staff within the schools?
You bring up some very good points. We appreciate you chiming in with us this morning because it's getting a lot of traction online. I know a lot of parents love the idea of unstructured free time that's phone free, but still a lot to come, still just in the bill phase. We will continue to follow it. But Adrianne Wilson from UT, thank you so much for joining us.
We appreciate